Happy Tuesday. This is Erika Robinson from In the Company of Cards, welcoming you back for another look at things that are going on. I'm the author of The Language of Lenormand, as well as the deck, Erika's Lenormand of Hope, and I'll be using these cards to look at what's going on. Love it if you would like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. But let's get to the question, shall we? So the first question is a reader question, and it was about Elon Musk. What a he's an interesting human being or something. The latest thing that he's done is, and he's since taken it down, was to sort of ponder musingly about the odd fact that President Biden, neither President Biden nor Vice President Harris had to date been unalived or attempted unalived. And he speculated on, why might that be? Come on. He has since taken the post down, but he's a bad guy. At what point is it too much? So I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to use the fox for him because he's just there's something shady about him, I'm just going to say. So we're going to look for the fox. I'm going to imbue it with the energy of Elon Musk, and I'm going to ask, what's up with him? What is his intention in all this? Okay, so I'm going to move that down so you can watch. I've already shuffled, so I'm just cutting the deck into 3. What's up with Elon Musk? Again, we're looking for the fox because he's a shady guy with his hand in too many pies, in my opinion. All right, so here he is, and I'm just putting the cards to the left. I still have cards in my hand, so I'm putting these 2 to the right. Okay. And we have the mice, we have clover, we have fox, we have key, and we have heart. Okay. I'm going to read these cards, but I'm also going to pull some clarifiers on a couple of these lines. Okay. So remember that our original line of 5 is we have the mice, we have clover, we have Elon Musk, we have the key, and we have the heart. Interesting, right? Okay, what's his deal? What's he up to right now? Well, mice. I think he likes to keep people off balance, anxious, nervous, and so therefore kind of in some way dependent on him for what the next thing is that he's going to say or do. Clover, Clover is one of the happiness cards in Lenormand, so that's great. But Clover is also quick, ephemeral, and also can be careless. And I think that his conduct is less calculated than it is careless. An idea comes into his mind to do a thing or to send a tweet or to whatever, and he gets that sort of immature, titillated feeling. Both of these cards feel like that. Ooh, let me do this. You can see him kind of rubbing his hands and getting that little frisson, that little shiver of excitement. And I think that that's why he does what he does. Okay, he's in the middle. And we have the key and the heart. Now, normally I love to see the key because the key tells me that the answer is coming. And then I look for the answer and it's the heart. Well, what does that mean? He does what he does because he likes doing it. That's the reason he likes it. It's fun for him. And then I can mirror certain cards. I can mirror, for example, the clover and the key. I think this is like he gets a rush, like a an adrenaline rush or a high every time he does something like this and gets a reaction. So he lives off of that. And then mice and heart is the same thing. He loves to live for the thrill that he gets from riling people up, getting people talking. It's not pleasant energy. Now, I pulled some cards on the key as well as on the heart to look further into this guy. So the key, remember, the key is the answer. So when I pull the clarifiers, I'm like, ooh, what are those going to be? What are the answers going to be? We have the snake, we have the birds, and we have the older man. Okay, so the key, what is his intention? What is his end goal, etc.? To create trouble, to create problems, to create trouble. And what kind of trouble? Well, any kind of trouble, so long as it garners him talk. This is gossip talk. He likes people talking about him and the dumb things that he does and the dangerous things that he does. He enjoys that. And ultimately, uh, frankly, this is Trump here. He's playing to his candidate of choice. Because remember, they're buddy-buddy, they're all hugged up next to each other. And Musk would like an official position in this guy's administration. So he's just showing 45, look what I can do. Look how I can run a news cycle. Look how I can get people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, right? Or like mice who don't know whether they're coming or going. It's all for the audience. So he does it for two reasons. One is for Trump as his audience. He's auditioning for him. Not that he has to. And two, because he takes sadistic pleasure in watching people squirm. Now, I drew some cards on the heart. And I got the young man, the stork, and the tree. And this goes to that secondary reason. The first reason is because he just gets a thrill out of it. He enjoys it. But the other is he's thinking about his future and positive shifts for him. That would be long term. He's sort of planting seeds that he hopes will grow into this tree, and the tree will be sort of his official dominant role in American and world culture and society. He's planting seeds. So he's not a good guy. Yeah. Will there be repercussions for him having said the unalived thing about the Democratic candidates? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. Another question that I wanted to look at is about Mark Meadows. Now, he wanted his Arizona trial to be moved to federal court because he thought he would get a more friendly hearing in federal court. But that request has been denied. So his case will stay in the Arizona courts. So I guess what I want to look at is what will the jury decide? What will be Mark Meadows' legal fate once his case is adjudicated? Okay, so I'm going to look for the tower because the tower will stand for the court, the jury. Okay. All right, so we're looking for the tower. What will be Mark Meadows' fate as determined by the jury? Hmm. So we have the bear, we have the house, we have the tower, we have the dog, and we have the man. I hate to say it, and I'll pull a couple of clarifiers, but the line is flanked. This is the center of the line, right? This is the court case, the court decision. But the line is flanked by the two cards that represent 45. And the thing is, doesn't matter whether he wins or loses in terms of this case, because he has the 45 has the courts in his pocket. And I don't know that that will necessarily change, to tell you the truth, when he does not win in November. I mean, the courts couldn't make him win in November. I don't know. But I don't like the fact that the line is flanked, because it feels like it squeezes the decision a little bit. We have the house following the bear. So it's sort of as though he's got, and I can mirror that with the dog, which is the fourth card. He's got friends in places that will be helpful to him. So it seems to me like, I don't know, his case could be thrown out, or I'm just gonna, okay. I'm pulling some clarifiers on the tower and the dog and this older man. Okay. So remember that the tower is the court decision, the jury decision. And the clarifiers that I have for that are clover, clouds, and garden. So luck. I mean, this is him being lucky with the jury. And things being kept from us, I feel like. Clouds. Now, the garden is the public. I just think he'll be lucky, even though the jury's going to be still in Arizona, he'll be lucky with his jury, I think. Hmm. For the dog, the clarifiers for the dog, which is a very friendly card for him. It's also the card for lawyer. We have the woman, the sun, and the fish. He may have a woman lawyer. She may be young. And I think, I mean, the sun is a great card. I think he's going to be lucky. And of course, I think the luck is related to money, because when is it not when you're in 45's orbit? It could be that 45 pays for Meadows' lawyer, because Meadows has been a stand-up loyal guy for 45. And then we have this 45, which is our fifth original card, followed by the mountain, the mice, and the key. So there have already been delays in this case, but it looks like the delays, I think there'll still be delays. The mice chips away. The mice's teeth kind of nibble away at the mountain, but in a slow way. And so I just think that the longer this takes, the better the outcome is for Meadows, and ultimately then for 45, because I can mirror the very first card in the line, which is 45, with the key. So I don't think Meadows is going to go down for this election interference, because I don't know, it just seems the courts are too much in 45's pocket still. Certainly the Supreme Court is. Okay. Well, this is all very discouraging. Speaking of bad guys, I want to look at Sean Combs. Diddy. Did he? Now, this case against Diddy has been going on for, not the case, but the speculation, the rumor mill around Diddy and his bad deeds has been going around for, I think, years. And so I'm curious as to how he will fare in a jury case. Uh, I mean, just even one of the charges I saw carries a 15-year term. So will Diddy get done in for what he did? And it's quite a big ring. Like he didn't do what he did by himself. How much, what kind of an impact is this going to have in a larger scale, for example, on Hollywood? So what will be the results of Diddy's deeds? And I think I'm going to use the older man for him because, you know, he's in his 50s, so it's not like he's a young man. Okay, so I'm going to just look for the older man, and that will be Diddy. If we want to know what is Diddy's fate for what Diddy did or is alleged to have done. Okay, so looking for the older man. Hiding deep in the deck. There he is. Okay, that's Diddy. Two cards that come before him and the two cards that follow him. Okay. So we have the stork, we have the cross, we have Diddy, we have the young woman, and we have the young man. I think this is a very, very interesting line of cards. So I'm going to just move it up, and then I'm going to pull some clarifiers on Diddy and on the young woman card, and on as well the young man card. Okay. So we again have the stork, we have the cross, we have the card for Diddy, we have the young woman, and we have the young man. Okay. Now, the crimes that he's alleged to have committed are violent in nature, sexual in nature as well, and are alleged to have been perpetrated against both young women and young men. So the first card is the stork. Now, isn't that interesting? Because the stork is about positive change. But when I look at the rest of the line and at the clarifiers as well, I think the positive change will be for his victims. Because there is change already coming for him. It's already come for him because he's under arrest. I think he's still in jail. I don't think he's been bonded out. So the positive change will be for his victims. And it will involve pain. This is the card for pain for Diddy. And the pain will come to him at the hands of the card that I can mirror this cross with, young women. Because young women are the ones who have accused him of his crimes, as well as young men. Okay. So now I pulled clarifiers. I pulled clarifiers on first Diddy himself in this situation. We have clouds, we have scales, and we have the whip. Okay. So this is about Diddy. I think he is like, whoa, wait, what? I mean, he knew they were coming for him. It's been talked about for a while, so he knew, but I feel like he doesn't have a handle on how to handle this situation. This has been decades, by the way, in the making, these crimes. Um, so now he's like all up in the air, like, oh my God. Now, to me, this time around, the scales of justice. And the wages of sin is punishment. The whip is the card for punishment. So Diddy will be punished. He actually knows that the jig is up and that he'll be punished. And this is not this is not a role that he's been in. A defendant who is going to be accused of crimes that could keep him in jail for the rest of his life. So he's like, whoa, it's quite the shift in status. Okay. I drew 3 cards for the young woman, and this card will stand for his women accusers. So we have Crossroads, we have Tower, and we have Book. I do think that well, obviously there are actual accusers, but I think that there are other young women who will have to make a choice as to whether or not they come forward. I mean, he could really be buried if as many women as there are came forward. So they have a choice to make in whether they go to the court or not. They don't know what to do because they're scared, right? This is the card for not knowing. So sometimes, people will wait and see the lay of the land and see how other accusers are treated before they come forward. So there are still, I feel like, victims in the shadows who have yet to come forward. They've been encouraged to come forward by the prosecutor. But it remains to be seen whether they will. Now, this is the young man card. And again, a lot of the victims were young men as well. And we have the clarifiers for the young man: Lily, Birds, and Anchor. The Lily. I think that a lot of these young men, for obvious reasons, want to maintain their anonymity so that they have peace of mind. They're not bothered by the press, that kind of thing, because they know there's going to be talk, gossip, rumor around all of this. And they're feeling stuck. Now, what's interesting is that I can mirror this card with the very first card in the line, which is the stork. And I think that the more people come out and when people see how egregious the charges are against Diddy, these young men will be able to morph this anchor card, which to date has left them stuck and behind the scenes and not coming forward, etc. And this is positive change, which means that this card could morph into them feeling safe enough to come forward. So I do think Diddy will get buried for this. Would that it were 45, but anyway. Yeah, I think Diddy will go down for this. This will not be anything that can be swept under the rug anymore. I think it will have huge ramifications for Hollywood, the music industry, the way business is conducted in those industries. And with that stork in the beginning, hopefully these will be changes for the better. Okay. So I've looked at Diddy, I've looked at Musk, I've looked at Meadows. Okay, here's really for me the question of the hour. So we know that there was an attempt, YouTube, on the life of 45. But really, was there? The Secret Service says that the golf outing, was not on 45's official calendar of stuff to do. they're saying that it was an impromptu trip. So we have that over here on one side. On the other side, we have a guy with a gun in place for 12 hours in advance of 45 arriving at this golf course. So he staked it out for 12 hours. Why would you stake someplace out without any knowledge of whether or not your prey was actually going to show up in a particular location or not? That's very weird. I'm sure that this guy was is unbalanced. I mean, if you want to try something like that, obviously you're unbalanced. But that does not preclude the theory that he was not by himself. I mean, particularly because it was an impromptu visit. That's the thing, right? If it had been planned, a planned visit, right? He was planning to go golfing on that Sunday. If it was in his calendar to go, and then the guy was there and you can see that. But it was not planned. Also, the agent just happened to see the little things poking through the tree line. And they happened to catch the guy with no problem. Guy didn't put up a fight, didn't shoot at officers or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm no Columbo. But then I put all that together with the spin that 45 and company are putting on this, that the reason that there's this second attempt and the reason that there was the first attempt is because the Democrats are of Democratic rhetoric, which is heated. And so basically that it's the Democrats' fault that pot shots were taken at 45 twice, that missed twice. I don't buy it. And maybe because I'm old and I've been around enough to have experienced the zeitgeist with many assassinations, right? Since 1963, that's the first one I remember, and you all know what that one was. These attempts, I would like to know. I just want to know. Were these real attempts? We'll go with the second one. We'll look at the second one. What was that second attempt all about? Was it a lone guy? And if so, what kind of ESP powers did he have that he knew to go 12 hours in advance to the venue that Trump was not supposed to be at? Doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the scythe, because that would stand for the attempt. Okay, it's a weapon, right? And I just want to see what I see around it. Okay, so again, we're going to cut the deck into three. And I'm going to look for the scythe. And I just want to know more about this attempt. Okay, so here's the attempt. Taking the two cards that precede it, and then the two cards that follow it. Okay. So we have the whip, the older woman, there's the scythe, we have the letter, and we have the stork. And what I'm going to do is move them up because I'm going to pull clarifiers on all of them, I think. So I'm just, see how I'm kind of shuffling each time I pull a card. Okay. So again, we have the whip, the older woman, the scythe, the ladder, the stork. Stork's getting a lot of play today. Okay. The whip. This is the card for punishment. Uh, it's also the card for harsh words. So let's just say this is a theory. To the extent that 45 and his campaign have been harshly talked about, as you can imagine, he would want an improvement in that situation. I'm mirroring the first and the last cards in the line. Now, we also have the older woman and the letter. And I am not going to accuse anybody of anything, but I'm just going to say Laura Loomer, who's only 31, but looks like she's 131. So that's her. And the letter, in Lenormand, the letter can be anything. But I just feel like I think she's communicating with someone. She's a conspiracy theorist. She would understand how conspiracy theories work. She would not be above hatching a conspiracy theory. I think she's somehow involved in this, but entertainment purposes only, YouTube. All right, on the whip, I drew 3 cards. And so we have the heart, the rider, and the cross. Again, the whip is the card for disagreements, harsh conversations, etc. I also think we kind of have figured it out that she she's got a thing for 45. And so she would want to send him a message. And I feel like the message involves some sacrifice on her part. Maybe participating in this attempt that was not an attempt. So she can rush in and mop his fevered brow and hold his shaking hand because, oh my God, somebody tried to kill him. Oh. Here she is again. And her clarifiers are the moon, the tree, and 45. So she wants to be known. She's trying to establish a reputation. That's the moon card, right? As being someone who cares about the health and welfare of 45. It's kind of like, it feels like a little bit like that Munchausen by proxy, where, I don't know, where mothers will make their children sick and then take them to the hospital and soak up all of the sympathy that they get as mothers of children who are sick. It's like, it's twisted. There's something twisted here. I think she wants to be, she's very invested in him and in seeming as though she cares about his health and welfare. but maybe in a weird kind of a way, in that kind of Munchausen way. Where it benefits her to have something almost happen to him. Okay, then we have the attempt. This is the attempt, and the clarifiers for that are the bouquet, the book, oh, and fish. So this is the attempt. Someone was rewarded for even making the attempt. Someone may have been rewarded for tipping off the would-be, maybe, sort of potential assassin. Somebody was tipped off. I don't think we know who did the tipping off or who did the paying, because this is money. This is money. This was not, I think the guy, the guy is addled who did it. First he was for 45, then he wasn't. He tried to hire mercenaries or encourage mercenaries to go work, to go fight for Ukraine. But I think somebody paid him. I mean, where did he get the equipment from? All that high-tech equipment. There's more to this than we're being told. Now, the letter. I feel this is this is a message that was sent, maybe saying, yeah, go in the woods for 12 hours, because even though it's not on his schedule, he is going to play golf Sunday at this course. So be there and pretend to take a shot, or pretend to get ready to take a shot. There's some shadiness here. I was wondering if the fox was going to pop up, and sure enough, it did. And I think that, to whatever degree 45 had a schedule, someone tipped off somebody that there was an alternate plan, right? This alternate plan, which was that he was going to play golf. And that was communicated, because birds is about communication. That guy was just not there for some random reason because he wanted to stay for 12 hours in the woods by a golf course. Oh, and just so happened to have a gun and a sight and a pro-go cam and provisions, food. Come on. Somebody tipped him off that there was going to be this alternate situation. This is the shady person who did it, and this is the tip off. Go to this particular place. Here's the X on the map. That's where you need to be. And we'll pretend to, we'll pretend to see you, and we'll shoot you, but we won't hurt you. And, I just think the whole thing is part of a ruse. Okay, stork. I mean, will this work? Will this make 45 more of a sympathetic character? Because, oh my God, twice the poor guy. Will that happen? No, it won't work, because I think people are going to get to the bottom of this. I mean, I'm just a reader here. People wiser than I, with more experience than I have, are going to say, wait a minute, what? So I don't think it will be the benefit that he thinks it will be. And in fact, I think it will be to the Harris camp's advantage. That's what I think. Now, we have this young, youthful energy. That's the energy of the Harris campaign. But when I look to see what card I can mirror this with, it is, it's the whip. I think that this plot will be uncovered. Son, flashlight. It uncovers things. So I think it was a ruse. I don't think that I don't think that the guy was ever in any danger of being um, shot by the Secret Service. I don't think that the candidate was in any danger of being shot by the would-be shooter. I think it's all cosplay performance art, which, I mean, that's just creepy. And my mind does not normally think like that. But there are just too many weird loose ends for it to make any sense, I think. All right, well, that's it for my Tuesday readings. As you have questions, if you would like to put them in the comments, I'll be happy to look at them. Someone asked me whether I thought 45 was sleeping with Laura Loomer. Well, to quote Melania, I don't really care, do you? So I'm not gonna look at that. You can use your imagination on that. But other questions on whatever, happy to look at them. Please do like and subscribe. I'd love the channel to grow. And I will see you next time. Bye.